Welcome to another episode of Unlocking the Mind Behind Make More, Work Less. Hi, my name is Fong. I'm an entrepreneur, business strategist, real estate investor, speaker, and also a best-selling author. And every single day, I help others unlock the potentials and guide them to succeed. Today on Unlocking the Mind, we talk about another cognitive bias. And the reason why I do this show is so we can better understand how our minds work, how we make better decisions, make better relationships, negotiate better, and sometimes even avoid certain cognitive traps. So for today's cognitive bias, let me ask you a question, a scenario of some sort. Let's say you were hiking up a mountain with two other people. One person slips and falls, and they go, help, help. Now you can actually save this person if you actually make a call for help, but you don't. And eventually they passed away. The second person, you decided to just push them down the hill or the mountain, and they pass away. Which scenario is worse in your mind? Which one will keep you up more at night? Which one will actually be haunting you in your sleep? Well, if you're saying, well, obviously the second one, that's so much more worse. You actually pushing the person down the hill or the mountain. Well, the truth is it's just as bad in both cases. In both cases, somebody passed away because of either you doing something or you not doing something. But omission bias, which is what this is something that us humans kind of relate to as if you actually contribute to somebody getting hurt or being harmed, that is so much more worse than if you indirectly cause them harm, which is omission bias, which is the tendency to favor an act of omission over one that is of commission, which is action, or the tendency to judge harmful acts as worse or less moral than equally harmful inactions or omissions, which is the omission bias, which is what we're talking about here today. So the thing is, how does this affect our lives? I understand that the scenario I painted could be a very, very unlikely scenario, but we actually face this all the time, where we kind of look at a certain situation and think that, you know what, as long as I don't do anything at all, it's probably better. Let's say, for instance, if you get a choice to press a button, and once you press that button, it's going to hurt somebody. Somebody's going to get a slap in the face. Now, let's say if you have the same button and if you don't press that button, somebody's going to get a slap in the face. Which one would you do? Lots of people will go, you know what? I'm not going to press that button. Yeah, I know somebody's going to get slapped in the face, but that's really not my fault, right? So again, omission bias comes into play. But this happens in business all the time. We look at scenarios and go, you know what? As long as I don't do anything at all, it's probably the safer bet. If I don't buy this property, it's probably a safer bet than if I actually go and buy this property. Like, for instance, if I buy a property and for some reason it doesn't work out, and after a year or so of renting it out and all that kind of stuff and finding tenants and getting cash flow, but all of a sudden we do some renovations and in the end we sell it and we break even, which is the exact same number, which is nothing, no gain, but no losses, compared to if we did nothing at all. Lots of people go, you know what, it's probably better not to do anything at all. But we're not factoring in, hey, you've learned so much during that time. You've gained so much more knowledge. You probably now know so much more so that you could go out and do other properties and become a better investor. But we don't think about that. We think about, hey, if we're breaking even, I might as well not do anything at all because that is probably the safer bet. Lots of people decide not to go into crypto, or people deciding not to go into investments because they think that if I actually put something in and I lose money, then it's all my fault. Versus if I put money in and it gains so much more money, and then you go, you know what? If I don't do anything at all and I still don't make anything, it's the same thing. So I go without putting any investment in. So the thing is, how do you look at your investment? How do you look at your business? How do you look at life? Do you go with omitting, or do you actually go and do something and kind of take that risk? And the thing is, if we don't take risks, we take opportunities out. And we need to take opportunities to grow. We have to go against that omission bias. Sometimes we have to go around and ask for better opinions. We have to go and kind of survey other people's thoughts before we go and take that action. Because we might go, what if I don't do anything at all? What is the worst case scenario? And more often than not, we're not asking that question. We're asking ourselves, what's the worst case scenario if we actually take action? But we're not asking that same question of what's the worst that can happen if I don't do anything at all? Now, if you actually assess both scenarios the same way, you might find out that there's so much more benefits if you actually take the action versus not taking the action. So that is omission bias. If you like this episode, please go back and see some of my other episodes on unlocking the mind. And if you like this show, we have a lot of other shows out there every single week. The Peak Potential Success Show, the Make More Mind Bites, the Master Mind Bites that goes up every single week. And please like, subscribe, and thank you so much for your support. I love seeing your comments. I love seeing your likes and subscriptions and all that kind of stuff. So thank you very much for your support. So until next time, today is the day to unlock your potential. I'll see you later.